It's my pleasure to introduce today's program because I think we're in for a special treat. As Doug told you, I'm David Zupancic. I'm the Associate Director of Development for the Denver Center for the Performing Arts. The DCPA has 3 partnerships with other theater-based organizations in town. We value the long-standing relationship we've enjoyed with Family, the Physically Handicapped Actors and Musical Artists League, and a more recent one with Denver's Buntport Theater. Still another is with Stories on Stage, an organization which utilizes our facilities as well as many of the Denver Center Theater Company's actors to produce its season. The Denver Center Theater Company's mission is to create and present exceptional theater that engages, excites, provokes, and inspires both artists and audiences. Stories on Stage provides exciting opportunities for even more diverse stories to be told through the power of live performance, which is what we're all about. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Artistic Director of Stories on Stage, Anthony Powell. Anthony began his professional career as an actor, touring the U.S. for 3 seasons as a performer with John Houseman's The Acting Company. An associate artist with the Denver Center Theater Company for 18 seasons, he directed over 25 productions there, including Dirty Story, Wit, The Dresser, Racing Demon, The Lennon Trilogy, Love's Labor Lost, Hamlet, The Tempest, and Someone Who'll Watch Over Me. I know that many of you enjoyed these productions as subscribers or single ticket buyers over the years and just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. In addition, Anthony has acted and directed at the Arvada Center, Denver's Curious Theater, Theater Aspen, and Creed Repertory Theater. I know he has something special to tell you about today. Please help me welcome Anthony Powell.
Thanks, David. Thank you so much, first of all, for having us. We're thrilled to be here. And I want to thank you all for the incredible work in the community you do. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm Anthony Powell. I just took over 3 months as the new Artistic Director of Stories on Stage. Very exciting time. The high point for me, perhaps, was the phone call to my big sister when I told her I had landed this job. And there was sort of a pause on the phone, and she goes, just make sure I'm right on this. They're going to pay you money to read short stories. And I went, yes, apparently that's so. And so I'm a pretty lucky guy. It's also an exciting time for me to be coming on because we're celebrating our 10th anniversary season this year. This company basically started in somebody's living room and has built up to where it is today. Have any of you been able to see our shows over the years down at the center? Oh, great. Well, thank you very much. Doug's a subscriber, and I salamed him heavily when I discovered this. Let me just tell you very quickly what we're all about. We take terrific short stories, and we match them with terrific professional actors, some local, some from out of town, many from the world of TV and film. And then we form these performances. We'll take 3 or 4 stories, kind of that link together thematically in some way or play off each other well. And we'll basically get the audience in and tell you some stories. We present them at the Denver Performance Arts Complex, our Sunday shows. We call them Always on Sunday. And we also perform at the Denver Civic Theater. That's our Out of the Box series. And those are somewhat more offbeat or wacky stories on those Saturday shows. You know, when we look for material, of course the main goal is to be entertaining. But we look for stuff that's heartfelt, humorous often, and allows audiences to kind of feel what it's like to be other people's shoes. Because our primary goal is to foster empathy and understanding between various different people. And what better way to do that than with a story? You know, since language first popped up, we've been storytellers. And I think all of us, almost every day, tell a story about ourselves. Sometimes they're not true, but that's a whole other issue. So that's who we are. We've got 2 stories today, Enough by Alice McDermott and Changes in the Memory After 50 by Steve Martin. These will be read today by Candy Brown. Candy began her professional career as a dancer on Broadway, working with amazing directors and choreographers, most notably Bob Fosse, Michael Bennett, and Hal Prince. Hello Dolly, Pippin, A Chorus Line, Chicago, Liza with an A, Z, etc. Since the West Coast premiere of For Colored Girls at the Mark Taker Forum in Los Angeles, Candy has acted in regional theaters around the country, including the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, Indigo Blues, the Colored Museum, Oobla Dee, A Streetcar Named Desire, Waiting to be Invited, Gee's Bend, among others. She has many television, commercial, and film credits: Zebrahead, Baby Boy, NYPD Blue, CSI Miami, 6 Feet Under, Motel 6, Ali, Mrs. Clay, to name a few. She has a BA in Performing Arts from St. Mary's College of California. Since relocating to Denver 2 years ago, Ms. Brown has worked with the DCPA, Curious Theater Company, Readings for Stories on Stage, and is currently a guest artist teaching movement for actors at the Denver School of the Arts, having recently choreographed Urinetown for their last season's musical, which was chosen to perform at the state and international high school thespian conventions. Ladies and gentlemen, Candy Brown.
Thank you, Anthony. Hello, everyone. Enough by Alice McDermott. Begin then with the ice cream dishes carried from the dining room into the narrow kitchen on a Sunday night. The rest of the family still sitting contented around the lace-covered table. Her father's cigarette smoke just beginning to drift into the air that was still rich from the smell of the roast and the roasted potatoes, the turnips and the carrots and the green beans, the biscuits and the Sunday-only perfume that her mother and sisters used to wear. Carried just 2 dishes at a time because this was the good set. The cabbage roses with gold trim, 2 bowls at a time, silver spoons inside, carried carefully and carefully placed on the drain board beside the soapy water where the dinner plates were already soaking, her mother being a great believer in soaking, whether children or dishes or clothes or souls. Let it soak. The stained blouse, the bruised knee, the sin sending them into their rooms with a whole rosary to pray, on their knees, and a full hour with which to do it. She was the youngest child, the third girl with 3 brothers, and since the boys were excused and the kitchen was too small, their mother said, to hold the pair of sisters in it together, this final task, the clearing of the ice cream dishes, was hers alone. 2 at a time, she gathered the plates while the others sat, contented, limp, stupefied with food, while she herself felt her stomach straining against the now tight waist of her good dress, felt her legs grown heavy from all she had eaten. Sunday dinner was the only real meal they had with their father, who worked 2 jobs to keep them all fed. Well, that was the way it was put by their mother and father, both without variance. And the bounty of the spread seemed to be their parents' defiant proof of the man's long week of labor. They always ate too much at Sunday dinner, and they always had dessert. It was pie on the first Sunday of the month, then cake, ice cream, stewed fruit, one Sunday after the other, and always in that same rotation. Ice cream being the pinnacle for her, stewed fruit being the depths from which she would have to rise. Carefully, she collected the bowls and carried them 2 by 2 into the narrow kitchen. She placed one on the drain board and then lifted the spoon out of the other, and always, with a glance over her shoulder, licked the spoon, front and back, and then raised the delicate bowl to her chin and licked that too. Licked the cabbage roses and the pale spaces in between, long strokes of the tongue from gold-edged trim to gold-edged rim, and then another tour around the middle. Place it down softly and pick up the next. The creamy dreg spotting her nose and her cheeks, vanilla or chocolate, peach or strawberry. Oh, strawberry the best, because her brothers and a sister always left behind any big pieces of the fruit. Heel of her hand to the sticky tip of her nose, lick that too. And then back into the dining room again for the next 2 bowls. Oh, it was good. As good as the whole heaping bowl that had been filled by her father at the head of the table, passed hand to hand by her sisters and brothers and set before her. Extrapolate, then, from the girlhood ritual, well, not to say, of course, that it ended with her girlhood, to what came to be known as her trouble with